Hello YouTube fam, it's time to get active. Yeah, I guess I kind of stole that phrase from a very popular YouTuber. I've been streaming a lot of his content recently, and I do think I need a catchphrase. But before catchphrase, I guess the first step would be to draw an actual studio logo. Even though my previous logos have just kind of been just there, I have designs down for a really new creepy logo that would be animated and added to all my products. So I feel that is a very good step forward in terms of actually running a studio. So yesterday on Twitter I was tweeting about let me just quickly load up the tweets while I model the city map. So I tweeted to the Monero community, and if you don't know what Monero is a privacy-centric cryptocurrency which is private by default, hides addresses and transaction data from prying eyes, and with the recent sanction by the United States government of Tornado Cash, privacy becomes all the more important in the crypto environment. So I'm 100% bullish on 100% bullish on Monero. So let me just go through my profile. And so I was tweeting at Monero community about developing a plugin for Monero, and to allow game developers build GameFi experiences. This tweet is nice. To allow game developers build GameFi experiences on Monero blockchain, and it's something that I've already started building, but it just kind of went somewhere halfway because of the plugin bindings. I've not yet bound the here's the tweet. So I tweeted I should start working on phase 2 of Godot Monero in 2 weeks time. Really excited about the recent hard fork. And the recent hard fork was a privacy-centric hard fork done to secure the Monero blockchain, which happens every 2 to 3 years. So Set for Privacy liked my tweet, and if you don't know Set for Privacy who he is a big streamer in the Monero community and a contributor also. So it's just got me real hyped about this plugin, and it made me all the more eager to finish developing it and implementing methods for GameFi within Godot game engine. And here's the plugin right here in my GitHub repository. It just contains the logo and some initializing files, but the plugin itself still needs bindings to be done, C++ bindings, so that its methods can be called within Godot game engine. So I would want to not just develop this plugin but maintain it, because it's one thing to just write some code and it's another thing to maintain it throughout the years as the project, as the engine gets much more updates. And that's the problem with lots of GameFi projects. Like if you look through Engine Coin was last updated with Godot version 3.2, and there have been a lot of updates since then, and the developers just dropped the SDK and moved on, which isn't how to do things. You kind of have to consistently update your plugins so there would be compatibility. And seeing as how the Godot community is getting ready to move to Godot version 4.0, it becomes all the more imperative to keep your plugins maintained, which is a shame because initially at the start of this project, the start of my GameFi integration project, I wanted to use Engine SDK, and heck, I had done a bunch of research on the token, but just seeing that they haven't updated their token in a while really put me off. And once I looked through Algorand, which is Godot Engine's SDK for Algorand, I noticed some bugs the first time I got into it. Namely, some DLLs were missing, and because I didn't have my Rust environment set up then, I made an issue to the solo developer working on it, and I was like, hey bro, your plugin isn't working, gives me this error. And he was like, oh yeah, my bad. He observed and quickly made updates that the actual DLLs for the shared libraries for the plugin weren't included in the build I downloaded. So he quickly made updates, and I was really excited to just work on and use this plugin, because any project that has an active dev has a higher chance of surviving. That's just how it is. That is just how it is. So what am I working on today? Yeah, I'm working on a city map. I just checked my game on Google Play Store, and I got 50 downloads, and I've gotten over 1.3k streams on YouTube. So it gives me all the more imperative to just continue to develop my indie game and make it feature complete with the features I promised at the start of the project. And that's what I want to do. That's rather what I'm going to do. Another thing I would like to do for today, I would like to draw some memes. there's been a lot of meme. There's been a recent meme going around where some dude just stands and what extra face do we have here? Some dude just stands and he has his girlfriend talking to him, and they're like, she's just talking and he just has this dead look on his face, like, what the hell is this girl saying? It's really funny, but it's, and I actually don't have a problem with the meme. I do not have a problem with that meme at all. I'm just like, okay, this is a really cool meme, but can we have a black version? Because I guess that's sort of like my thing now. My thing now is race bending characters and turning them into memes, especially if it's something that has to do with the black community. Once I see something related to the black community, nope. I just gotta try it. You know one thing about 3D modeling? You know that they're not gonna see this part, so it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Because once if I just go and I just stick it in this building, boom, nobody sees it, and generally nobody cares. So let's render image. Boom, it works. So you might want to ask, what are the tools I'm using for this? I am currently modeling the city map in Blender game, and I just call Blender game engine. They did have a game engine a while back, but I guess that died out because maintaining a game engine, it's way more difficult. Like, you could have an entire coding project and just maintaining it would just be such a huge pain in the arsehole that you really cannot keep up with it after a couple of years. So projects where the devs are actively maintaining them, those are my go-to projects. And the litmus test I use for those projects is if I message the dev and I'm like, hey dev, what's up? And within a day he replies. If he replies in like a week, I know that project is dead. But if he replies in a day, it means that he gets email, he's turned on his email notification for that project, and so it's more or less likely that he's actively working on it and looking at it. Billion 4, yep. Excuse me. So I just got a bunch of views on YouTube. I literally don't know how. My video quality was terrible. My video quality in all my videos are terrible because I have yet to purchase camera gear. Yup, I have yet to purchase new camera gear. Should be the 5 though. Decent camera gear would run me between $1,000 to around $1,500. That's for just a standard Nikon, and it would have gone up since last time I checked. So, and that's not even counting the cost of lights and a bunch of other things involved. So I haven't gotten that part of my life fixed up yet, even though a bunch of other people have. I just focused on animation, and I'm glad I did, because if I hadn't, I would be into cinematography by now, and I won't be making games and YouTube videos. Maybe YouTube tutorials on photography, but that's not the same. That's definitely not the same. Yeah, so in my Algorand tutorial video, there's a lot of noise in the background, and I have reasons to explain that. First off, that night, the night prior to when I had written, or rather done the video, I was burnt out. I was really burnt out for 2 days because I'd just been doing a lot of things for the last couple of weeks. I had an interview, I had like 2 interviews, 2 tests, and one was in C#. So I literally just one morning I woke up, I coded my plugin, and then I slept, and then I woke up again by 11 and I wore a suit and I went for the interview. And then I really did bad because I guess I got 25% out of 100 and pass mark was 50. So, and I ended up getting it, which is crazy. I got through the interview, which is crazy. How? I believe in a higher power, so higher power wanted me, God wanted me to get that gig, and I got it. And that's what I always say, if it's meant for you, it's going to come. It's not by how hard you work. Like, even though hard work does play a factor, a lot of times it's really just the extra which you can't control. Some would say it's luck, I say it's God. Or you can beat me up if you're an atheist or whatever, who cares? It's really not like as if anyone knows the actual answer. Stephen Hawking, heck, he didn't know the actual answer before he died. And yes, I've read his books, his 2 theses on black holes and the warmth they give off that will eventually lead to black hole dying out. So I kind of have an idea that no one knows what's out there. Not a single person knows. So at the back of my video, you could hear someone praying, "Amen, amen." Yep, that was an actual thing, and if you could see my face while I was recording it, I just cringed. I cringed a little, then I died inside. But at the end of the day, the show must go on. So I didn't stop recording, and then I hit up my producer for some beats, because he really has this really cool beat. You should check out his channel. I'll probably add a link to his channel at the end of this video. And I was like, bro, I need some beats, man. Get me some beats, bro. But then his dad was in the hospital, and I just felt like an actual jerk for disturbing him at such a traumatic point in his life. And I could just be like, yeah, a bit of me did just die inside when I just saw that, oh, your dad is still sick, man. And then I just comped out the video. I composited the entire video, and I just uploaded it, and I went to bed because I was exhausted. I tend to sleep like 3 to 4 hours every day, so I was just exhausted. And then I just uploaded it to the group because, heck, you want a video? I give you a video. No, not that. And I gave them the video like that. So who knows? He ended up reaching out to me the next day. It's just recorded. Yeah, it is. He ended up reaching out to me the next day that evening, that okay, which beats do I want, and then boom, he sent me a lot of tracks, and I'm really grateful to him for it. But damn, the deed had already been done. I had already posted the video to the Algorand Discord server, so there was no taking that back. No taking that back at all. So I just like went with it. Who cares? Really, who actually cares? The 9 people that saw that video, they don't really care. They just, heck, it might go viral, because if it's terrible enough, it just might go viral. So, and the code in there was really complex. How do you explain an NFT parser logic within 30 minutes? And everything that could go wrong went wrong with that video, because my PC gave me issues. I had done like 4 recordings prior, and each of them just went out wrong. Like, how does a video? I was so frustrated that morning. I was just too frustrated. I was so frustrated I just didn't care anymore, and I just did it. And that's probably how my interview went, because at a point in time, once I just saw so many C#, I could handle baby C#, because I did just a quick beginner video on it, but once I started to see complex logic and for loops, yeah, I just gave up, and I just picked every answer that was a B. I was picking either a B or an A, or a B or an A, and if I looked at it hard enough and I just guessed, might be a C, I just picked a C, and I ended up getting 5 out of 20 questions. So that's what happens when I'm super stressed out. I just do whatever. And I'll be like, man, I'm just going to go and sleep. This is out of my control. So that's what happened. That's why that video is just like, I would look through YouTube's edit button, and rather studio editor, and see if maybe I could crop out the parts where there's just a lot of background talk. You hear the background voice there, that's my old man. Yeah, he was asking us whether there was, like, he was asking the moms whether she's using her lights, and she was praying. Yep, I'm not making this shit up. She was praying. Okay. But then again, I think it's just kind of biased to expect myself to compete with people that have expensive camera gear and expensive light and enough space. You see where I'm walking right now is so crowded. It's so crowded. Literally saving up to get a separate space where I could just leave all my tools lying around. This place is so crowded and it's just how it is. I don't think of myself as being disadvantaged because I don't know how other people's 25-year-old life goes, but if you've had your entire life figured out by 25, good for you. Good for you. You are a genius. I haven't figured shit out. Oh, damn. Prayer about to start again. Okay. So, yeah, I'll just turn off this recording once the noise gets unbearable. Yep, I was right. I was right. Okay. I have this theory though that you can afford to not believe in a divine, or not to believe in the divine when when all your needs are met. Like you don't have to do a lot of shit just works out for you. Your government values your life. Oh damn. And so you just tend to okay, that's not going to work. Let's try loop cuts instead. Oh god, I prefer loop cuts because there's no way in hell. Yeah, damn it. You know what? Let's look at how it renders and then I just might not do it. Works-ish. Yep, not doing that. So now I just move my bridge. That object mode. Since I worked on my last film, I've sort of gotten comfortable working with Blender and in 3D space. And that's what happens when you experiment with technology. It makes stuff easier to do. Like you just kind of figure it out. And you're like, oh. Like the first time I was using Blender, it was so difficult, and now I'm just mindlessly going through this model. Like Like, it was much easier doing this model than it was drawing um, the actual reference art, which is this. This took a lot of time to draw. This has just been, it has barely been up to a day and it's almost done. Yeah, so this is how I make my environment. I don't like rather hand-drawn backgrounds for this game dev project just doesn't look right. It looks a bit iffy. So you see that bad part under the bridge? Nobody sees it. No, but heck, look at this. These things aren't on like the same straight plane, and that's literally how 3D works. That's animation for you. It doesn't matter what you see in the background, how arranged everything is. It's just whatever looks good on the camera works. If I were exporting this scene as a 3D scene to the game engine, to be another different ballgame entirely. Seeing as how I started to work in Unity as part of my game dev, yeah, I don't know how to explain it though. I got into a training program for game developers, GameDev Africa, in correlation with Google. So I guess I'll be working in Unity now. Well, I actually prefer Godot because, let me yawn a bit. God, that sounds perverted. That sounds completely perverted. I'm sorry if it gave you very wrong notions, but I was just yawning. There's nothing very going on. I guess there will be some sick weirdo that literally wants to do pervy things and record themselves on YouTube. YouTube is a weird place. I didn't really start getting into YouTube until recently, and I can confirm YouTube is a weird place. Who are my favorite YouTubers? For now, I would say Danny. That's Daniel, the dude that married a Japanese wife and then got divorced and started making content out of it. I ran into his channel a couple of years ago, I think 2 to 3 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and it just seemed off because he was always in his room recording all this deep introspective stuff. And then I was new to YouTube. I'm like, what the bleep is this sensitive BS? And so I think I subscribed and I unsubscribed. And then recently I just saw one of his videos and it was so funny. It was just so funny. And then I subscribed and then I caught up to all the bullshit he has been going through. That's peak entertainment right there. That's just peak entertainment. Him dealing with his ex-wife, him dealing with Japanese girls and telling us weebs what to look out for. Now, generally, I think as an ex-weeb turned game developer, I'm over that whole thing, because not just him, there's this other YouTuber, TechLead has been having serious issues with his wife. And guess what? She's Japanese. So Nigerian girls are already enough problem. Like, dealing with their own bullshit deserves his own entire video. So rest assured, I'm not too keen to experience all that. It's men who are of the same races with these girls and they are still going through hell. Nope. I just manage my own little space and not deal with that bullshit. But as long as you're making good content and no one is getting harmed in the process, like physically harmed, it's all good. It's really all good. Yeah. So, how long is this? Getting active. Who is tweeting at me? Who in God's name is tweeting at me? I'm working. This is why I don't get a lot of work done, because I'm here working and then some dudes tweet at me and maybe that tweet is fire, so I just have to reply or I have to throw in some memes and then boom, I'm sucked into this web hole. I've literally left WhatsApp. I hate WhatsApp. I think I'll delete my Instagram account soon because there's someone there that's stalking me. They haven't really stalked me, but seeing their notification just fills me up with a lot of anxiety. So I'm just going to uninstall that app and focus on Twitter and YouTube. I guess I could get my YouTube account. Oh, okay. It's my smart contracts tweet. I watched the video on stateful and stateless smart contracts this morning, and it kind of made sense because stateful I was trying to mentally compare stateful smart contracts and state machines. And if you don't know what state machines are simple AI. Okay, gotta put some emojis here. Gotta put my emoji here. Yeah, state machines are just simple AI. But stateful smart contracts are smart contracts that have access to global variables within the blockchain rather than being limited just to that transaction's logic itself. So you can program extra logic on top of pre-existing logic within your smart contract. And they gave a bunch of examples. I just watched halfway through the video. They gave some examples about using the voting app and building a crowdfunding app and how stateful and stateless smart contracts interact. Then I saw a tweet about recent election, because there's an election going on in my country, and they're going to use paper ballots, which didn't make sense because technology has gotten so good that you can literally just build a voting DApp, decentralized application for voting, and the results will be immutable and unalterable. Everyone would have one vote, results could be tallied in one day. You can literally not make any changes to the blockchain except you are going to do a 51% attack. And if you use an already existing blockchain like Algorand or just any blockchain that is not decentralized and use valueless tokens, you can get free and easy fair elections. But these people want to use paper, so it doesn't make any sense. It makes sense if you want to rig, it doesn't make sense if you want a free and fair election. So I just tweeted at it because these guys are fucking idiots. Why don't you I should bleep that. These guys are bloody idiots. Why don't you just use DApp? But and then I think it's getting a lot of activity on Twitter because that's cool. My emoji button is not working. Thanks, fam. Thanks, bro. Okay. Can't wait to release. Can't wait to publish my next project. Which would be a YouTube video. Because there's no how I'm going to finish a decentralized application in a day. It took me 22 days and I wasn't even starting from scratch. I just had a node with all the methods implemented and I had to build code on top of that. But the amount of code that had to be built just to make my code work, I had to write, oh god, let me just show you the repository so it won't be like as if I'm just shit talking, just capping social media. I'm not capping, I'm definitely not capping here. This is real fact. This thing takes, and I feel it's something that once the financials are in place, it's easier to implement. But you can have the financials and you're using old technology and you just end up producing shit. Okay, so I just wanted to build an NFT parser and an in-game wallet. Here's the amount of code it uses. It uses a web server. It uses the forked version of this code. It uses Python implementation within GoDev. It uses this code, which would have to be compiled extra later for Android devices. It uses Python scripts, which is used to build the NFT, and it uses NFT generator to generate metadata. So that's five repositories just to make a simple game demo, which is a lot. It's actually a lot. So okay, so let me see who else tweeted at me. Oh yeah, it actually makes a lot of sense. The technology is there, it's open source, but guess what? The CBN governor, who has no shame, who has seriously no shame, and has watched the currency, our local currency, inflate by over 300%. And I'm speculating here because of a lot of stuff I've seen. He got a backwater deal with IBM, so rather than building at the national CBDC, central bank digital currency, on any good, public, reliable, battle tested blockchain, the old man went to go meet IBM and started building on Hyperledger. Who uses Hyperledger? Who in God's name uses it? I can go through Binance and I cannot see any version of Hyperledger. That is, you're literally you're defeating the whole purpose of decentralization. And so in one of my interviews with a banking firm here locally, I will not mention their name, I kind of talked about building documentation for the Hyperledger blockchain and also building private currency transactions, which I feel will be a good business idea here. But then I didn't get the interview and I'm just like, man, F all of this. I'm only going to follow the community that wants me, that would value my input. I'm not going to go around kissing ass to get something, because if the code works, it works. If it doesn't work, you look like an idiot. So God, I'm starving. I have to go make breakfast after this because I'm just so it sounds better. It's like almost every word that comes out of my mouth reveals some hidden perversion that I know nothing of. Isn't that strange? Yeah, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing all that detail. Not right now. So thank you for having me. Let me just give you a quick render of this map. Yeah, it's going to be a city map that will expand the lore of the story. There's already been 7 chapters drawn out, so it will be the end of my story, and I'm glad to reach that end. To also come with blockchain transactions and smart contract and all that whole keyword Web3 BS. So that I guess the next release would be for testnet, and after that, depending on how it goes, I'll just pump some money and do a mainnet release. And if I go broke, I go broke. Peace out.